This is the Stereosis.
The almighty election that we all had expected has come and it's gone. Fortunately or unfortunately, the aftermath of the election is still actually to actually grasp during the election period. Even a lot of the political gladiators are gallivanting here and there, all over Twitter and all over the newspaper. Just like today, we're actually seeing the person of Wiki actually organizing press conference, I think every 4 days. Here, the press have now become his closest friends and ally. And now, what surprises me most is the way our distinguished Senator Chimaroke has actually been going around causing chaos on Twitter and then involving in name calling. And these were actually people, I believe, were his boys. Those were people he brought into the political cycle. And even if they have issues, I think it's something he should actually go inward and then settle it, or entirely tell us that he has gone into APC and then he's trying to win favor for himself. Like I said in one of our podcasts, Chimaroke is an aged horse and then should be retired. For me, it's the end of an era for him, and that does not mean the end of the road for him, because the end of one era leads to the beginning of another. That is another phase of life for him politically.
But don't you think Chimaroke has a legitimate reason to be angry?
Well, anybody can be angry. We are always disappointed when things don't go our way. But to degenerate to the level of calling people names, you saw him calling some people in some of his tweets dumbheads.
Unprintable things.
Just he calls them unprintable names.
When the speaker said illiterate guy.
Even the person he was when he was talking about rigging, he was saying, just imagine someone like clueless Buruburu. Actually, all of them are clueless in his own eyes.
Using words like brainless.
Yeah, and those are things that should not be allowed. Chimaroke is a man who we the Nkanu people and the entire Enugu state respect him highly. He's a man of the people per se, and he's a political colossus.
Yeah, well, I think Chimaroke has a legitimate reason to be very angry. These are guys like, if you listen to the name he called, even the current governor-elect now is I don't think without Chimaroke will be anything in politics. Yes, for all of them. These guys calling their names, the speaker and all those guys. I think he just maybe he's doing it more. I think he's crossing the line, but the truth is that he has a legitimate reason to be very angry. If you read his thread on Twitter, he said, how can he be losing the election in some wards and some polling units where the governor-elect won? Like in some local government, the same party, the same election, the governor won.
Chukuma,
where they won to
Chukuma, I tell you something. The trend, the wave that shook the political cycle in Enugu this time around has never happened before. People were not voting for party anymore. They were voting for who they wanted. I can tell you, except you can actually make mention of people voting for party when you talk about Labour Party. Yeah. And their candidates in Enugu state. But outside that, a lot of people, especially in the Mbiambia, non-Enugu, especially within the Enugu urban areas, the urban settlements, yes, they never wanted anybody to mention Chimaroke.
No, that's for a fact.
Yes, people were tired of the old order by the ways, and they wanted a new leaf. Now, another problem is the campaign strategy their party used.
The PDP campaign strategy.
Yes, it was very poor. I just for the first time I saw where individuals were actually going door to door campaigning personally for themselves.
And that's how it should be.
No, now listen, I tell you this thing. If he was, because you know Chimaroke is a mobilizer of men. If he was in his days, he would carry everyone along. I think that is where his disappointment emanates from. Now, Oga Ipuko Ozwa.
He was on the ballot, so he
was. Now he was on the ballot, and aside that, you know, another issue, another trouble, another thing that gave him big problem was his support for the person of the president-elect, Bola Tinubu, and which even right now he's still supporting. Yes, he is, and I believe that his support is not in vain. He called him his personal friend and all those things. Probably he's jostling for a position in the federal council, or maybe something, but we are yet to see. Because there was a rumor that he wanted to go to the Senate to be the Senate president.
He also mentioned in one of his tweets that people were
they fought against
it, thinking that to defeat that his ambition, the easiest way for them was to make sure he does not get back to the Senate.
Anyways, nobody deliberately, because even in one of his tweets, I saw him talking about him actually giving up his youthfulness for the Nkano people. Yeah. He should also understand that the Nkano people gave him the platform on whom to excel. Who brought him into politics? G. Mobodo. Yeah. Which people actually on his back did he stand? Nkano. Do you understand? Yeah. If you see one of the major players during his tenure as governor, they were Nkano people.
Yeah.
So he wasn't an island. He can't say he gave up. How many houses did he have before he became governor?
Even
the school that he owns, did he have it? Mata, he had it? No. So Nkano people actually gave him everything. So if he did us a favor as Nkano people, and then he brought some developmental projects down in Nkano, it's an appreciation which Nkano people deserve. Now, if now they feel let another person get to Kenya, then you shouldn't feel aggrieved.
Yeah, but it's not in this form. That's what he's trying to say. It's not in this way, because the guy, you can feel the anger that stride for everybody. He didn't feel these people these are not the guys he expected the betrayal to come from. But virtually all these guys he called, without Chimaroke, they would be in politics. Some of them will be doing one thing or the other with their life. They will be close. Even the
now I can tell you, see, it is someone who must retire a horse. The horse doesn't retire itself.
I'm not sure he's retiring.
Now he's retired. Yeah, he might not, at least in Enugu politics. You know, actually, there was a payback time for him. He actually brought some of these people into politics, and some of them gave him another avenue, another opportunity to excel. Buruburu brought him back after his
retirement by his former
Sullivan Chim. Sullivan Chim actually took him out of active politics in Enugu. He ran to the US. Buruburu brought him back. It was a payback for him, because he gave him the platform to excel. So Buruburu, even though during this particular election nobody knew his stand, but I don't know.
Well, a lot of them, and that thing is he shouldn't be complaining about them on one thing. A lot of these guys were on ballots and they lost all the elections. Yeah. Unfortunately, who was on the ballot?
He lost.
Who was on the ballot? He lost. So blaming them, if they could help any person, they should start helping themselves.
Yes,
lost of course. All the civil government in his own region, his own senatorial zone.
All the candidates they brought out, how many of them emerged? Very few.
Almost all of them lost.
So Chimaroke should not take it personal against the party and against.
He feels strongly that there was a scheme within the PDP guys.
Let me just be sincere with you. It got to a very terrible point. The PDP were only fighting to win the governorship.
Yes.
Yes.
Which was their only
that was the only
acceptable candidate they could use.
Yes, because
but that's a no-go area for the electorate.
The electorate knew, and like I've said this before and I will still say it again, the Nsukka, the labor guy in Nsukka, Okezia, brought a war to the doorstep of the Nkano people. And even those who were very dormant about the whole issue, or those who were very docile, I mean to say, about the issue, became very much interested. And that was it. That was it.
I think, all things being equal, I still think Chimaroke deserves more from all these guys. Although, as we are saying, they could not even help
they couldn't help themselves. Talk more of helping Chimaroke.
All of them lost, or four has been there
for many years.
For the first time, and he lost. So yeah, I think they should just share all the blame. PDP didn't also do well in the Enugu state. And any party, even the current Labour Party now, if they go the same path that PDP took, they also have a problem. You can't just be handpicking people.
No, one thing, well, you know, they might be rejoicing. Those in Labour Party might be rejoicing. They don't know who.
Yes, now. I don't
Do you understand? Now, if
they've learned lesson, any person going back to that,
they are still glowing in Mago rejoicing. So many of them don't even know they are left from they are right from their left.
And that's in the next 4 years.
Because in my a lot of them never even assume that they will get to where they are.
Yeah, but
so it takes a little bit of learning. They have to learn the trade, poco a poco, and even sometimes before some of them realizes what's happening, are you illegal?
They may be out of that's the beauty of the whole thing.
Yeah.
If you're not performing, the electors will have their say. You find their own. Go to the Senate, or you go to House of Assembly or House of Reps. You go do your job. This is your time now to go do your job.